Brad, the Volta Catalunya starts on Monday, runs until next weekend. You can watch it on Eurosport and GCN+. Ineos going in with quite the team.
Yeah.
Some serious strength in here. Richard Carapaz making his season debut. Taking part in another stage race for him. Richie Port supporting Rohan Dennis. Jonathan Castroviejo, Luke Rowe again, and Adam Yates.
Brilliant team. Fantastic team. I think they'll do something. I think they're knocking on the door. They've got every other component right in the... they seem to at the moment. They rode well today, as they say, in San Remo. They've got a bit of race miles in their legs now. Obviously, they'd been at altitude before the Paris-Nice and stuff like that. Carapaz, I've been watching him on Instagram and that training. He looks like he's been doing some good stuff. I just think that as a unit now, they're sort of poised now to do something. There's a feel that they're going to do something big at the moment. And I think this could be this week, really. Maybe not with G. I'm not too sure where he's at. I'd like to see G do well. I think that race was suiting me. It certainly looked good in Tirreno. But I get the feeling that they're poised to do something now. And that team as well, you get the sense with it that with Yates, Dennis, that this is their main business, this one. This isn't just kind of spreading their kind of eggs across different races. So I think this time next week we're looking at a performance, I think.
Of the three of them, who do you expect to lead there? So Yates we saw so strong at UAE, only Pogacar could beat him. G, strong in patches, but not overwhelming at Tirreno Adriatico. And Carapaz, we don't necessarily, like you say, know what to expect.
I think Yates will probably be the leader based on his form up to this point. He's ridden well in this race before. I don't think G will be too concerned about needing to be the leader and needing to put a statement out there. There's plenty of time for that in terms of what he's gunning for this year. And when G will be ready, G will be ready. There's no doubt about it.
The more races suit him.
Yeah, I think the way the cycling's changed now, he probably needs to be. G's a racer through and through, and needs probably he likes getting stuck in for his mind more than anything, and racing with the sort of handcuffs off really. He's not insecure enough that he needs to sort of start putting a marker down to prove he's the one. I think he's got the faith within that team. He's done enough over the years to prove that he's capable of doing it. I just think for him, almost even if he's not leading the race this week, it'd be nice for him to just do a performance for someone like Yates where he tears the race up a climb and he's kind of one of the last few riders left and gets all the sort of praise like we did with what we saw with Rowan Dennis last year in the Giro. A performance like that from G will go a long way.
Jumbo-Visma, obviously we talk about Ineos, we've got to talk about the other big hitters, as it were. They've got Sepp Kuss coming back this week. Yeah. And again, another rider that, like Carapaz, we've seen nothing of this season so far. In terms of really getting down to business, as it were, are we expecting to see Jumbo-Visma and Ineos start to face off now?
I don't know. They've spread quite thin, haven't they, Jumbo-Visma?
Feels like it.
A lot of Primoz chasing Paris-Nice. There were sort of calls of lack of support for Van Aert at Tirreno Adriatico going for the GC. Lack of teammates today in the final in Milan-San Remo. But their objective is the Tour de France, and you can't really chase everything. Although, as we said, riders we speak about now are almost chasing everything. So it begs the question: where do you put your eggs and where do you put your team? It's a very, very splintered field in terms of the quality now and what people are capable. We're talking about a guy here in Van Aert who's capable of winning San Remo, Tour of Flanders, Paris-Roubaix, Tirreno overall, assisting someone who can win the Tour de France in Primoz Roglic. Also, the question is being asked, can he win a Grand Tour himself? Which is the answer is yes. Second in the World Time Trial last year, second in the World Road Race last year. I mean, the guy is phenomenal. And we're now talking about him. Should we have more support for him? Jumbo, they need to watch out. They need to kind of... This is where Ineos do it really well, is that they're not panicking across all sort of boards here. And, they've crept up. Took a little bit of criticism for their sort of lack of performances this year. But here we go in Catalunya, and what a team they've put up. That sort of sparks of that they're serious. And make no mistake, their goals are the Giro D'Italia and the Tour de France, and they know how to do that. I think Jumbo, since last year, they could be accused of spreading themselves very thin and chasing everything a little bit too much. Whereas last year, with the lockdown and the lack of racing before the Tour de France, it almost favoured them because they selected their Tour de France team previous December, if you like, and they spent a lot of time together and they were very fresh coming into the Tour. At this rate, I think that they could be sort of pretty burnt out as a team come the Tour de France and not have the strength that they had last year. They've already lost Tom Dumoulin. through other reasons. They're walking a tightrope, I think. Whereas Ineos, they know how to do it, tried and tested. It's not about these races so far. It's about the Tour de France. And I think their lack of being present, as it were, although they're present in certain areas, like today when we saw, but certainly on the results end of the table, will probably bode them well come July.